Hey, everybody, welcome to today's show. Welcome to Advocate Information Highway. I'm your host, Anthony Lorito-Duke, and we have a great topic for today's show in which it is schools reopening. So let's get right into this topic. And I was just discussing the same topic on the show Equality and Rights for All on Spreaker, and I figured it's very important to continue this discussion here on my show, Advocate Information Highway, here on YouTube. Now, let's get right into this topic. We've all been hearing about these schools, many of the colleges that reopened up in other states, and these fraternity parties and whatever. And with regards to those states, if you look at those states, right, all of those states were the ones that said we got to reopen up right. We got to reopen up right now, as of yesterday, fast. We're going to believe the orange baboon in the White House. The COVID-19 is a hoax and all this other garbage. And, just like when a lot of these college kids took the trip to Florida because they wanted to overcrowd the beaches and everything, and because they don't want to listen, you know. And then look what happens. Just like in the state of Texas, the college in the state of Texas, they were holding a fraternity, they were holding a party in one of these frat houses or whatever, and all of a sudden, bing bang boom, they got the COVID-19. They got like 100 cases of COVID-19. Seriously, because these kids don't listen, and um, it's really sad. These kids don't listen. There's no discipline in these kids. The parents just want to pamper them and get no discipline, and it's sad. It really is. And let me explain another thing. Yeah, actually, a few other things here. All right. Um, when it comes to schools from like kindergarten through 12th grade, parents, legal guardians are responsible for making all the decisions for the kids. Okay. And, if the parents do not want to send their kids back to school so quickly, like in September or whatever, then those parents have the right to say that because those parents are responsible for them. Again, I'm talking about from kindergarten through 12th grade. Those kids are minors, and those parents are responsible for them. Now, like I said, if the parents don't want to send the kids back, they have that right to make that decision. On the other side of the coin, if the parents say, yes, I want my kids to go back, I feel the schools are safe or whatever, then those parents have a right to make that decision as well. Now, going back to what I was just saying, like about the states um that was just saying, like, oh, we got to open up right now as of yesterday, fast, right? Those are the ones with the schools that have the problems. Now, if you take like the state of New York, right, where they're talking about reopening the schools and stuff, and the difference is New York is doing it the right way. They're working with the proper staff and saying like, okay, let's look at all the schools. Let's have all the schools clean up the COVID-19. Um, Social distancing in each classroom. Masks have to be worn, hand sanitizers to protect everybody, and also at the same time, you have the online classes too for these kids. Okay, so maybe schools be opened up like 3 days a week and have classes online as well. They'll work it out, and like I said, from kindergarten to 12th grade through 12th grade, the parents have a big input because the parents have a right to make the legal decisions for these kids. Now, if you talk about colleges, okay, with colleges, the kids are already in the adult age. Now, many of the parents pay for their kids to go to college, yes, and the parents can say, We're not paying for it for whatever their reason may be. They have a right to that. The parents have a right to make that decision. Now, if let's say the parents pay for their kids' colleges and they say, "Go ahead, if you want to go ahead. You're right to make that decision. You're in the adult age. You know right from wrong. Then so be it." Okay, and um, so that's the way that the reality of things is, and these college kids have to stop these parties and stuff like that. You can't be doing this stuff with this COVID-19 because let's look at the facts. The college in Texas had a big party at one of their frat houses or something like that, and all of a sudden, bing bang boom, they got 100 cases of COVID-19 because they don't want to use their brains. Seriously, and there's no discipline in a lot of these kids. You got to discipline them. The administrations for the colleges, for all the colleges, throughout all 50 states, all the colleges, the administrations for all the colleges have to stipulate this is the rules and regulations. Come back to campus. Social distancing, wearing masks, hand sanitizers. They got to make that whole list up and say this is what's enforced. And that's it. Rules and regulations are not a bad thing as long as they are reasonable. Okay. Like I said, discipline is gone. And these kids want to have a temper tantrum and everything else if they don't get their way. And they say they run to mommy and daddy and go, "Oh, this is rules and regulations. Oh my God. This is the real world, ladies and gentlemen. The real world. In the real world, there's rules and regulations. And as long as they're reasonable, it can be enforced. What are these kids going to do when they step into the real world? If they get a job, right? What are they going to do if their boss gives them an order? What are they going to do? Run to their mommies and daddies all the time? And here's what I tell many college kids, okay? Because they're in the adult age, by the way. College kids are in the adult age. Once you hit 18 years old, you are considered a legal adult, okay? Now, with that being said, I tell many of these kids who complain, "Oh my God, I got problems. I got a car to pay off, and I got the tuition, and let me tell you something, okay? You are right. Having paying off a car is a responsibility. Paying off tuition is a responsibility. You're right, but you're living in mommy and daddy's house. Mommy and daddy are paying a whole lot of stuff for you, okay? And the reality of things is, mommy and daddy doesn't live forever. And God forbid if something happens to mommy and daddy, you're screwed. You're screwed because you'll never be able to survive. And many of them say, "Well, I'll go live with another family member." If you're lucky to have that, then fine. But guess what? Once you are of legal age again, which is 18 years old, okay, nobody, nobody is legally responsible for you. Nobody has to take you in. They can say, "Well, I can't. I got other kids are like I can't take them in. I can't do it." They don't have to. So you're screwed. And so you better start to use this thing called the brain. Get it out from where the sun don't shine. If mommy, God forbid, if something happens to your mommy and daddy, you'll never you'll never be able to survive. And if you think that having a car payment and tuition payment, if you think that that's problems, how are you going to keep a roof over your head, food in your stomach, clothes on your back? How are you going to do that? How are you going to pay for utility bills? How are you going to do that? Think about that. Nobody else is responsible for you. So you better start to think, start to use your brain by getting it out of your ass first. So that's just the reality of things, ladies and gentlemen. Whether you like it or not, that's the reality of things. So, um, but anyways, like I was saying, with the schools reopening, and when it comes to from kindergarten through 12th grade, parents or legal guardians are responsible for making the decisions for their kids. Now, if you're talking about colleges, that's a different story. So, um, but either which way, if with these states that just wanted to reopen up everything fast, of course you're going to have a problem. And I just gave you a perfect example. Look at that college campus in Texas, in which the fraternity or whatever it was that had a big party, and look what happened. Bing, bang, boom. They got 100 cases of the COVID-19. Now, if you look at the state of New York, where they're talking about and working on reopening schools the right way, there's a right way and a wrong way about doing things. And like I said, the administrators for all these colleges have to say this is the rules and regulations to return back to campus. And rules and regulations are not a bad thing. They're a part of life, and as long as they're reasonable. And the kids have to say, "Oh, hey, you know what? I don't like the rules and regulations. I'm not going to go back." Or they could say, "You know what? I want my education. I'll obey by the rules and regulations." There you go. But again, like I said, many parents who pay for their kids' colleges can say, "I'm not paying for their college." Kids may not be able to go back. Or the parents may say, "You know what? Here's the money for them to return back to college. I want my kids to get a good education and graduate. I want them to continue their education or whatever." And, you know, things like the schools are fine to go back, blah, blah, blah. And, parents have a right to say that too. So there's a right way and a wrong way about doing things. Again, there's a right way and a wrong way about doing everything in life. So depends upon which road you want to take. Anyways, um, I want to remind all my fans out there who watch and listen to my shows here on my YouTube channel. Please do not forget to hit the subscribe button. That would be greatly appreciated. And don't forget to go to my website, Advocate Information Highway, and the link to there is awldny.com. You guys could check out all the pages on there. And I hope to speak to everybody again tomorrow. For Disabled Reality, which I host that on Spreaker.com. And once I'm done hosting an episode of that show, I'll host another episode of this show, Advocate Information Highway. And so with that, take care, everybody. Bye.